Audio in the hybrid classroom can be difficult. A student in the classroom wants to say something.
Hi, I'm Leonardo. I'm a student. I have something to say.
But what your students at home hear is...
Hi, I'm Leonardo. I'm a student. I have something to say.
And so you ask the student in class to unmute themselves.
Hi, I am Leonardo, and I have something to say.
Let's see if we can solve this problem. Howdy, ladies and gents. My name is Tom. If you're new here, my channel is all about helping middle school STEM teachers design an engaging classroom experience for their students and a fulfilling teaching experience for themselves. And nothing's less fulfilling and less engaging than when tech gets in the way of the learning experience. So here's what I do. First thing, the speaker. I have a separate speaker that I plug into my computer so that way the students here in class can hear the students at home a lot more clearly than if I just turn my laptop speaker up as much as I can. To select that as my speaker, I just need to click on this little arrow and you can see I've got select microphone, select a speaker. I want to do the built-in output, which is the headphones right there. And now anything that comes out of Zoom will come out of this speaker. Now for the students at home to hear the students in the classroom, I do like to have the students in the classroom open up their computers and log into Zoom. Whenever I'm talking, they have their mics muted in here and they have their computer speakers muted as well, because if their computer speakers aren't muted, whenever I say something, it's also gonna come out of their computers because it's projecting whatever's in Zoom. The problem comes up when I ask a student in class to unmute themselves whenever they wanna share something. The reason we get that feedback is because when they unmute themselves and begin to talk, their microphone audio is going into Zoom. And since my computer is also projecting Zoom, it comes out of my computer and then it goes back into their microphone and into Zoom and out of my computer and into their microphone. And that's why they call it a feedback loop. You can stop that feedback loop though if you mute your speakers whenever they are talking. So that way when they talk, it's coming into Zoom, but you've muted your speaker, and so it's not coming out of your speaker as well. But the kids at home can still hear that student who's unmuted from their computer. Now, when I say mute, I'm not talking about muting your microphone, I am talking about muting your speaker. On my Mac, there's a little mute button that mutes the audio that's coming out of the computer, and so I push that whenever a student is talking, and that's the quickest way to mute it. But you may find that you're hitting the mute button and it's not muting your speaker, particularly if you're working on a Mac. Even though this speaker is set to built-in, the headphone, that speaker right there, you may do this little mute button right here and it's not muting it. It's just giving you this little symbol. The reason it does that is because if you go up here to your little actual volume speaker thing, this also needs to be on the headphones or whatever that speaker is called for the mute button to be activating it. So if it might be on something else, it might be defaulting to another device. If you've got AirPods, Bluetooth connection, you need to set this to headphones and then you can actually mute and unmute and control the volume from these actual keys right here. For the microphone that I like to use, I prefer to use an AirPod, just one of them in my ear. I don't use this as my speaker. My speaker is the one that's connected that the whole class can hear. I only use this as my microphone. A lot of people don't know that you can have your speaker and your microphone be two separate devices. And so you can have your speaker set to the headphones while your microphone is set to your AirPods. Even though I have the option to make my AirPods my speaker as well, this is so everyone in the class can hear the students at home. This is really so the students at home can hear me. But there's a couple reasons that I prefer using the AirPod as my microphone. The first reason is better quality. This is the sound of the built-in microphone on my MacBook Pro. This is the sound of the microphone that's built into my Apple AirPod. Another reason I like to use the AirPod as my microphone is that whenever I want to go to a breakout room and have a private conversation with a student, I don't want that student's conversation and audio to come through the speaker and project that to the whole class. Having the AirPod gives me the option to now change my speaker from the class speaker that everyone can hear to my AirPod headphone. So now I'm the only one that can hear that student when I'm talking to them in a breakout room. So it allows for a little bit more privacy in that conversation. And the last reason I like using the AirPod is that it actually doesn't pick up much of anything else as a microphone except for me. If I use my laptop as my microphone source, it's going to pick up more of the classroom noise than if I just use my headphone, my AirPod, as my microphone, because it's only really picking up my voice from the microphone that's built into here. That is super helpful when I do have a situation where a student in class wants to say something and I have them unmute. Right now, I could just mute my speaker and then the feedback issue is gone. But if I use my laptop as the microphone, now not only is that student's laptop serving as a microphone, my laptop is serving as a microphone. Now we have two microphones going into Zoom, and the students on the other end at home are gonna hear a little bit of an echo there.
I am contributing to the conversation. I love school.
Whereas if the AirPod is my microphone, whenever my student unmutes themselves in class to speak, I can just mute my speaker and their laptop picks up their voice as the microphone, but my AirPod doesn't pick it up. I don't even have to mute my AirPod. It just doesn't really hear them at all. And so it's a better experience for your students at home. They're not hearing that doubling echo effect because the AirPod microphone, even though you didn't mute it, isn't really picking up anything else except your voice.
I am contributing to the conversation. I love school.
I'm really trying to avoid a situation where I have to not only mute my speaker, but I also have to mute my microphone every time someone wants to say something. If I only have to mute one thing, that's doable. If I have to mute two things, then it just starts becoming a mess and I'm like, wait, what's muted, what's not? And it just ruins the flow so much more than it already does. If you're using Zoom during hybrid learning, I found that there's a lot of features in Zoom that a lot of teachers don't know about that could make their teaching life way easier. And so check out that video right there where I walk through 3 Zoom features that can make your hybrid and remote teaching life so much easier. That being said, my name is Thom Gibson. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today that'll help you design a more engaging classroom experience for your students and a more fulfilling teaching experience for yourself. And hopefully I will see you in the next video.